Pardon me, got a little migraine, but I'm looking at a bunch of different time frames, right? So my hourly, my 4-hour, my daily models, those are always the most precise with my IchEMA model and my Stoch oscillator modeling strategy. See the increase in volume today, right? The market feels more confident. It's been coming in all day, additional volume. We're also seeing some extreme bullish indication here with the hourly resetting without the PA coming down at all, building more support on the IchEMA dynamics, right? You see my IchEMA dynamic supports, the 55, the 99, and the 222 EMAs. Look at the support of the 55 and the resistance of the 99. It's bouncing back and forth. Then it broke above the blue, the 99, got rejected from the 222, and now it's bouncing again off the 99 EMA, right as we're seeing the Stoch oscillator down on the bottom right, that's starting to turn more north. That's starting to turn back up, indicating a bullish reversal. That's exactly what happened over here on the main bottom, on that 112K bottom that I called, that main 61.8% retracement from the top that I was talking about going back literally weeks. You can see we bottomed out, we turned up, and that was the start of a next big leg up. So we're getting back to that oversold territory right here, right as we're bouncing off my IchEMA dynamic support at the 99 EMA. The next leg up, that's where we break above the cloud and the 222 EMA and have the potential to move up considerably more. All along, one of the other key things that I've been pointing out was how Bitcoin was going to underperform and the alts were going to run a lot more. That's because we finally got a crossover with Bitcoin dominance, where we're seeing Bitcoin move with less explosive movements, while the altcoins are moving considerably more aggressively. That decrease in BTC dominance, especially with the other altcoins outside of the top 5 or top 10, indicates that shift into alt season, where we're not seeing the majors move as much as some of those mid caps, large caps, just not the super mega caps. That's why we're seeing Ethereum move up more, LTC moving up more, Doge, XRP, all the things I've been talking about, XLM. Some of those came back down a little bit today on this retrace, but we're about to see it turn back up. In addition, Bitcoin will still overall rule the trend, right? So even though Bitcoin might move up 1 or 3% by Bitcoin being bullish, even to that small degree, that'll translate into a much larger and more significant movement on those alts. So right now we're seeing this bullish push, and if we get back up above 116, for instance, we're going to see the alts move 5, 10, 15%. We're going to see some of those explosive moves we were seeing all the way at the beginning of July when things looked like they were making that parabolic move. We're going to see another one of those. We just needed a little bit of a consolidation. Now, with all that said, I have been warning, when you look at the higher time frames, like you're looking at the weekly and you're looking at the monthly, we're still really high on the Stoch. So that does indicate we might have a multi-week correction coming, but we have a potentially significant move upwards before that happens. We could get back to retest the all-time high and get to a double top at 123 before we get a larger retrace over the course of several months. Usually that happens in August. So we might see that happen in August and September before we really see an aggressive push up into alt season in October, very similar to what we saw in 2017 when we had that alt season run from the end of the summer through the holiday season. But keep in mind, we've never had government and institutional interests to this degree. So in the past, we've had traditional cycles. Now we actually have major players, the big money, the institutions, the federal government, state governments, local municipalities that have significant investments in the crypto space, specifically in Bitcoin and the majors. They're not going to allow us to have an 80% correction that happened in past cycles. So a lot of analysts have talked about this. I think it's entirely possible we get an aggressive move up, a midterm, weekly or monthly retrace before another push up. But it is quite possible we never see a price below 100K again on Bitcoin. And if that happens while dominance continues to decrease on the Bitcoin side and allows altcoins to run, we can see very easily XRP and some of the other mid and large cap altcoins running up, 100, 200, 300, 400% over the next 6 months. So I'm not saying that's guaranteed or anything, but it's a very real possibility considering the shift in fundamentals we've seen and the shift in who the power players are. We're not seeing crypto whales influence the market. We're seeing much bigger players in government entities and institutional entities who actually have the power to manipulate asset prices in the crypto space. I mean, these are the people, the hedge funds that manipulate prices in equities, where we have hundreds of multi-trillion-dollar assets compared to crypto, where we're limited to only a few. So there's a lot of potential out there, but at least in the short term, I'm exceedingly bullish right now. I do still expect a correction, so be cautiously optimistic, stay in, but maintain some cash reserve, because if we get that extended correction, be prepared to sell off some assets to build up your cash reserves, because once we get to that next low, we're going to have a chance to buy in before real alt season. 2017 summer through the holiday seasons type alt season, where you saw XRP, TRX, Doge, a lot of these assets do 1,000, 2,000, 3,000% runs. So that's what I'm thinking right now. But at least immediately look at the daily bullish reversal on the Stoch, and then look at the hourly, which means imminently over the next 24 hours, we're going to see another push up. The big key that makes me extra bullish over the next week is this daily bullish reversal. We are going to see, at the very least, a touch back to that prior trend line top of that channel, so 117, 118. And given how we're seeing a shift in BTC dominance, that 117, 118 Bitcoin price could easily translate into a 50% run on a lot of these altcoins. So stay away from the majors, except for Ethereum. Focus more on the large caps and mid caps, and I think you have a lot of potential to make some significant gains over the next couple, at least I would say 5 to 10 days before we need to reevaluate, and that all depends on how fast we see that trend reversal come about as we get to that overbought territory on the Stoch.